Hello, I'm Eugenie Giraldo, and here's why I became a physical and health education student in a creative way. It all started in 2004 when I was 9 years old. During that time, both of my parents discovered that they had high cholesterol and were told to bring us with them to the doctor so we could see if my sister and I had the same problem. We realized, after having the results back, that both my sister and I had cholesterol too. I couldn't believe it. I was too young for that, that's what I thought, actually. I was too skinny for that, and I was doing too many sports for that. Well, this is what my 9-year-old self thought at that time. I was doing gymnastics, I was doing swimming, and I was also practicing soccer. 3 months later, after having our results back, I had to go see a nutritionist 2 to 3 times a month in St. Justine Hospital. Since my sister and I were very young to have that amount of bad cholesterol, we were part of a study on young children and had to go to different meetings so that we could learn how to eat properly and be healthy. This is where I learned at a young age what was unhealthy, what was healthy, which habits I had to change, and which one I had to keep. I remember it as a tough time, but not because I was eating a lot of fast food. For what I can remember, my family has always eaten healthy with lots of fishes, vegetables, fruits, and little unrefined products. It was the little things such as not putting butter before adding peanut butter on my toast that was hard. These were little things that I needed to change, but I realized that I learned a lot throughout those meetings with Miss Nguyen from St. Justine. I was not an unhealthy child, but I was different from the others, and I had to be careful. Then, a few years later in 2006, I was practicing many sports such as competitive gymnastics and competitive soccer. However, this was too much. I had a big decision to make. That was one of the hardest of my life. I remember having difficulty sleeping at night. I was too anxious about choosing which one I prefer. I was good at both, and I did not want to ruin or waste this talent in the sport I would not choose. I then realized one day, after a few months of thinking, that gymnastics was too hard on my body. I finally decided to continue playing competitive soccer and questioned myself a lot in terms of what these sports would bring me in the future. One determinant time in my life that I can say that made me choose physical and health education in university was my time in high school. In 2007, I was admitted in Sport Études Soccer at Félix Leclerc High School. I was having soccer every day with my class as well as 3 to 4 times a week with my team. I was loving it for the first 2 years. My skills were improving and I had to do the thing I loved the most every day. What a chance! It changed a bit as the years went by though. In secondary 3, I was injured a lot but continued playing when I could. During secondary 4, I spent a lot of time not doing anything during my training. My coaches were not motivated and let me do anything I wanted, such as standing on the field instead of playing soccer. I remember this year as a very, very long year. In secondary 5, this is where I couldn't stand any of my physical education teachers and or coaches. I thought that they were boring, did not make us move, and did not try to motivate us as players or students. All I was thinking to myself during these 10 months was, oh my God, help me, I'm never going to finish this year. I remember getting tired of soccer during these last 2 years in high school. Soccer was my passion during my entire childhood. And I remember asking myself what happened. I started to reflect and realize that the coaches and teachers I had during those last years did not seem to do their best to create lessons or practices that were challenging. Everything was boring and no rules or expectations were present in the classroom. Let's move forward. In 2012, after my graduation, I spent a lot of time on my computer and especially on YouTube. One day, I remember discovering a specific community on YouTube of people who were exercising and eating healthy with various diets such as vegan, vegetarian, paleo, etc. Influencers from around the world were making videos of themselves eating healthy and working out in their house or outside, and made me want to be like them. A new world was opening to me and I was more than happy to try it. This is where I can say that I started a healthy journey. Those YouTubers had a great influence on myself. In 2013, still in my healthy journey, I started CJEP. New teachers, new friends, that was exactly what I needed. I think I can say that these 3 years were very beneficial for myself. In fact, I discovered so many new activities and sports that I was good at and that I loved. This is where my horizons in terms of physical activity grew up. I was motivated in every classes. I loved to move during my time in CJEP because it was very different. Different from what I did in high school and different because teachers were so motivated and energetic that it gave me motivation. I had supports from those teachers and I wanted to be like them, to show people that a healthy lifestyle isn't hard to achieve. It takes dedication and motivation, but it is possible for everyone, even the ones who weren't motivated before. My goal when realizing that I wanted to become a physical education teacher was to not become like my coaches and physical educators in high school. I wanted to become someone with motivation and drive so that students would look at me as a model in life. I will remember myself the hard times that I had in high school so that I will never do these errors in the future again.